If you're ready to unlock more power from your Airtable structure, look no further than extensions. Extensions are essentially the marketplace where people have built add-on apps that can unlock new power from your Airtable base. Airtable has provided some extensions for us, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing my 3 favorite extensions. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gareth. I'm the owner at Gap Consulting, where we help you to organize and automate your business and life with no-code tools. At the forefront of that is Airtable, and an important part of Airtable is learning how to leverage automation, both within Airtable and using third-party tools. I have a free training set up, so if you're interested in starting to understand the fundamentals of automation in no-code, check out that training so that you can start reclaiming your time. You can get that training at garethpronovost.com/webinar-registration, and I'll include links below this video. But without further ado, let's hop into the heart of this. We're talking about my 3 preferred extensions from Airtable. So to start off with is the import extension. It allows us to take data that either lives in a CSV or an XLM file, drop it into our database, map out where we want that information to go, and it all plugs right on into our database. This is really helpful if you have a third-party tool that you're using that spits data out for you in some sort of file, Excel or CSV. You can save that as a CSV file and drop it into your Airtable base. That way you don't have to enter all of these records manually. Let's check out how you use this. First, of course, you're going to have to put the extension in your database. You can go into the upper right corner, click Extensions. And down here, we just say Add an extension. And you can search for it, or you can view all extensions by Airtable. The one that we're looking for is called CSV Import right here at the top. Go ahead and add that in and just add the extension. This will take just a moment to load up. And once you've done this, it's ready to receive that file. Now, of course, I already have a file built for us on my desktop, a little import example here. If we were to open this up, what we'll see is that we have tasks 8 through 13 all assigned to this project called Acme Fire Sale with their various due dates. Of course, if I flip back into Airtable, exit out of the extension, we see that in my tasks table, I already have tasks 8 through 10. So there are a few extra tasks in my file. I don't want to create duplicates of this task, and that's one of the best parts of this extension. It's going to allow me to ignore any tasks that already exist and only import tasks that don't yet exist. In order to import this file, all I have to do is drag it from wherever it exists, bring it into my base, and drop it right into that extension. Once I do that, it takes me directly here where it's saying, where do you want to map this stuff? Where is this data going? In this case, of course, it already has assumed that it's the tasks table because that is the table that I was most recently viewing. And yes, that is correct. Now, if you want to not create duplicate items, make sure that you select Merge with Existing Records. Choose the field that you want to use as the key or the identifier that will ensure that you don't create a duplicate. In this case, if the name already exists, if task 8 already exists, I don't want to create it again. So you see when I toggle this, right here on the right-hand side, it shows me exactly what that data is going to look like when I import it. 3 records don't change because they already live in my database, task 8, 9, and 10. But I will be importing tasks 11, 12, and 13. It's exactly what I want. Now, for the next part, we have to map our CSV column to the right place. Let's flip back to that CSV one more time to refresh our memory of what it looks like. I do have the header here, and so I'm mapping the name, the project, and the due date identically to what lives in Airtable. So here, the name column in the CSV maps to the name field in Airtable. You'll see the due date mapping correctly here. And so the extension's pretty smart in and of itself. It's already mapped these 2 fields, but I want to make sure to toggle on projects. Now it's going to ask me to choose the CSV column, and of course I'm just going to select that project right here. And you see that by doing this, everything should map out nicely. Let's go ahead and hit Save Records here. And just like that, those records are imported And now back in our tasks table, we have 3 new tasks. Tasks 11, 12, and 13 were added. Again, tasks 8, 9, and 10 were not. And if we look at the activity on this particular record, you see that it was created using the CSV import app or extension, and it's right here. As I said earlier, this is an excellent way for you to import data if you're receiving it from a third-party tool in some sort of CSV or Excel file. And the best part is, once you've mapped out where all these different columns are going in terms of what column goes to what field, you don't have to do it again. The next time you import a CSV from the same source, it's already going to know where the data needs to be added. Now for my second favorite extension, it is the data schema extension. This is really, really helpful, especially if you're being introduced to a brand new Airtable base that you've not ever seen before. Let's go ahead and install this extension here, and we can just scroll on down and find that base schema. Once I add this in, what it's going to do is give me an instant visualization of what's happening in this database. I can scroll back and move these different tables around, and we can see how they're connected to one another and what all the different fields are inside of those tables. Again, this is really helpful if you're being introduced to a database and you're not exactly sure what data talks to what data. You're also not sure what tables are linked to what other tables. How is it all connected? So you can go through this schema and just see how everything is synced up. So right here we see that there's this blue dotted line here, and this because we have a link from our people to our company table. And then we also see this orange line right here. This is a lookup field. So there's a lookup at the company level. We're looking up that email address from people. You'll also notice over here that there's another dotted line as part of that lookup field. It's telling us which of the linked relationships we're looking at in order to pull in that email field. So if you want to see that in Airtable, flipping back into here, we have people set up here with 2 different links to the company. This is useful in a case where we want to denote somebody as a primary contact at a particular organization. So on our companies table, we have 2 different links. We have a primary contact link. So at Gap Consulting, I might be the primary contact, and then there might be some other team members that are the secondary or tertiary contacts. So when we are using the lookup field, we're looking it up at the primary contact level, and then we also have a lookup that's looking at the other contact link. And that's what this schema is showing us. When we go back into this schema, you see that we've got 2 different lookup fields based on the different linked relationships. We then see that we have a link from companies here over to projects, and then a link from projects down to tasks. So this is a great way, again, to get an understanding of how the data is all interrelated in a database just at a glance. The schema comes together practically immediately, and you can see everything from a holistic view. Now for my absolute favorite extension, it shouldn't come as a surprise. It is the scripting extension. This is the thing that took Airtable from no code to low code. And while yes, it may be intimidating to write scripts, I myself don't really write scripts all that well, but the power of this extension is immense. What it can allow us to do is practically limitless. All of the things that you wish you could have done in Airtable before are now pretty much available inside of scripting. The best part of this is, inside of Airtable scripting, they've given us access to a library of pre-existing templates. So a lot of different examples that you can look at. Even if you're a non-scripter, such as myself, you can still find a lot of value in these and start down the journey of understanding how to write scripts. So a lot of different things from calculating running totals, looking up currency and converting it, spreadsheet importer, script settings, all of this becomes available to us with the help from some scripts. And so because of the fact that this took Airtable to the nth degree, it has to be my favorite extension. Now, one thing you might notice is that I didn't talk about any of the charts, summaries, graphs, any of that stuff. Those used to be the extensions that I used the most when I was using Airtable Extensions. But because of the fact that Airtable's interface designer has now taken that to the next level, all of the graphs and summaries and that type of summarization, that all lives in interfaces now. And so while I'm glad that we still have those extensions, if you want to throw in a quick graph, Yes, it's nice, but it's so much nicer, in my opinion, to just build that graph directly in an Airtable interface. So this has really changed the landscape of interfaces over the last couple years, and overall made Airtable a tool that is just easier for us to use. I hope you got a ton of value from this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay on top of other no-code videos, and I will see you in the next one. As always, I hope you found that to be extremely helpful. If you did and you'd like to learn more, swing by our website and see how we can help. We offer a free Airtable crash course that will help you level up in Airtable quickly, and we also have some paid services, including hourly consultations with our experts. We have some online courses and a group coaching program, and for advanced needs, we can build a bespoke solution for you from scratch. So swing on by, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.